are the grittiest group of people, hands down, at Grasslands.
I was selling weed since I was 16 years old.
We were growing and selling out of the recording studio that we had at that time.
Coming from selling on the underground, and now I'm here on the biggest stage, which is Grasslands.
All the brands that you're seeing at the Legacy Market, they are all minority operated and owned.
They're bringing us together so that we can compete with your corporate America, your Walmarts of weed, if you will. Friends, welcome. This is the Legacy Market. Legacy Market is all of your BIPOC and minority represented companies brought together under one umbrella through equity trade.
And enjoy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks, guys.
I'm looking right at it, and I'm like, what do you feel?
The cannabis industry is the first industry that really has the opportunity to be as diverse as possible, and the Legacy Market is trying to bring that to outside lands and grasslands.
This is like being a small business association. It's just like when you're working with mainstream mom and pop.
Everyone says that small businesses are the backbone of the United States, so we really need to prove it.
The Equity Trade Network is a network of small cannabis businesses, both in legacy and also in equity.
Social equity programs identify people that traditionally were disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs and gave priority access licensing to those people.
So social equity is good for the market because it's giving us a chance to show that we could also participate in the market and not get pushed out when the bigger brands come in.
It's just essentially bringing people together in unification. The thing I learned in Africa was that it takes a village.
I really love seeing brown people actually taking cannabis and taking ownership of cannabis.
The amount of regulation that is in place makes it very, very difficult in order to be able to just be a small business. So the Equity Trade Network is essentially an ecosystem through all parts of the supply chain.
Whatever lane you're good at, cultivators, they're great at cultivating. Some people are great at designing products. Some people are good at selling.
Like a co-op of organizations, essentially.
That's the only way you can work is collectively, because no one could do it by themselves.
We are the small fries in the game. We don't come from any private backing.
Since we're self-funded, the more we grow, the more clients we get, the more money we need. Luckily, I've partnered up with a couple of different farms. The Legacy Market that we're doing today has just been, everybody just tries to help each other out.
We're in a really interesting time period. Technically, we're not necessarily in a legalized cannabis space. We're in a heavily regulated cannabis space.
It's still federally illegal. So a lot of the roads to help you aren't there. You can't bank, you can't get an SBA loan. So when it comes to legacy brands that have been around forever, that really care about the plant, that have been growing for years, that have been using cannabis in the proper way, it's really hard for us to maintain.
It is really, really expensive and very prohibitive to operate in this space.
Equity operators are really struggling right now.
And so what we've seen is primarily corporations that don't really know the plant, that have a lot of money to spend to really enter the space.
And once we let the corporations take over to grow corporate weed that is made in a factory, when we grow things naturally, we care about the plant and we're trying to keep the plant as true to its form as we possibly can.
Our entire attitude about cannabis is the best cannabis grown by organic farmers for real connoisseurs. And that's why I'm wearing this t-shirt right here, this Equity Trade Certification t-shirt.
I think SF and SF Roots were the first brands to actually have the seal on our jar.
I'm trying to build this with my community in a way that overcomes all of the corporate kinds of barriers that are being created by capitalism for us.
If you can't pay your tax bill while also paying a healthy living wage for your employees, it turns people that wanted to participate in a legal system back over into an unregulated space.
Cannabis market's struggling right now because of California's taxes and also the black market.
We want to encourage legacy brands to come into the legal market because the cannabis is tested and there's so much more to it, but we don't make it easy.
The reason most of my friends having gone from the black market to the legal market, they've seen all the struggles I've gone through, and they're still making the easy money.
So when we say, what do we need to do to be able to slow down or even just stop the mass incarceration of people using cannabis, we also have to have a system in which makes it accessible to participate in legal weed.
Corporate America shouldn't be allowed to turn cannabis into nothing but a money-making machine while people still sit in jail. So supporting legacy brands is so, so important because we're still fighting to get people out of jail. We're giving back to communities. We're giving back to the homeless. We are really on the ground doing the work.
Right now, you're starting to see a cultural shift away from this idea of like the corporate players and trying to go for the biggest and most recognized brands out there. Cannabis still has that opportunity to really focus in on the small businesses, the people who are really trying to bring their heart and soul into the industry.
It's prideful to talk about, say, we're equity, we're local, we're coming together, we're a small group of people that are transitioning, and we need the support of our locals. So this is what it's about, man.